Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too, because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Holistic Manifesting, because I believe in a whole body, whole mind, and whole being experience when it comes to manifesting these amazing lives that we are choosing to live, right? What I'm discussing in this video is the power of positive affirmations for manifesting, right? And this can be for anything. Like I always say, your manifestations or whatever you're trying to bring into this life, it does not have to be anything material or anything like that. It's very specific to you and your experience. But I don't think people truly understand it. And I don't mean like affirmations you listen to from other people. Sometimes when I'm listening to those, they are impactful. There's this one I'm listening to now, and that little 9-minute video is speaking directly to my spirit. It's like it was created by me, for me, right? But it wasn't. But so that doesn't happen all the time. A lot of times when we hear affirmations, like from other outside sources, it feels like something happening on the outside of us, and then we're trying hard to line up with it. And the thing about affirmations is that they are energetic. You never truly know the energy and the attitude behind the person that's creating those things and putting them online and sharing them with you. So while you're trying to line up with it and you're trying to make it work for you, you may be working with some tarnished energy to some degree, right? And you may not even know it. So we just have to keep in mind that making affirmations and having affirmations are best served if you're doing them yourself for yourself, right? I wrote a little book a while ago, and I don't have a copy next to me. I was doing something, but it was upstairs on my nightstand. It's called Little Book of Affirmations. And the affirmations to me are so good because I do like career, I do money, I do, relationships. I do like all the major areas of all the life, friendships, travel, education, all these things. And the reason why that was so important to me is because I realized that most of the time we have these words, these sentences or phrases that we are having going on in our heads constantly all day. And we never give enough attention and time to whether or not these words are positive or whether or not they're affirming beautiful things about our lives. Generally, they're just affirming what's already going on and what's already not working for us and what already feels like is not a positive outcome, right? And so I started learning the power of positive affirmations probably about maybe 8 years ago or something like that, I'll say. And I used to walk around with these little earbuds in my ear, even at family events, even when I was teaching, even when I was like going places, I would be around and I would always have these like very low playing affirmations in my ear. And most of the time, these affirmations were created by me. And I can honestly say that much of what I was always talking about has already occurred in my life, right? So I always tell people, if you get stuck for a moment and you're trying to figure out what to do next, and you've already made some accomplishments and you're kind of like, well, what do I really want? Life is going to create new things that you're going to be wanting to manifest, whether it's, non-tangible things or tangible things, right? Because one of them was a vehicle that I really wanted. And when I was doing those affirmations, it was nowhere in sight. It wasn't even a real possibility. Right. And when I tell you, I received everything down to the color of the vehicle. And I remember saying, I love the way the leather seats feel. I love the way that it feels to sit up high and see over everything when I'm driving in traffic. I had all of these physical, not only physiological aspects of the affirmations, but also I made sure I tapped into all the senses. Right. So if it's something that you want to experience, like say it is a new car or something like that, then you want your affirmations to be, I love my beautiful vehicle. I love my blue, whatever, right? I love the way the leather seats feel beneath me. I love how comfortable those seats feel on long trips. I love the way the air conditioning vents blow so strongly. I love the way that smells when I get into the vehicle, the new car smell and the air freshener smell that I placed in it, right? And you can even say really specifically, I love the smell of vanilla that I put in my car, right? I love that when I reach over to roll the windows up and down, it sounds like a well-oiled machine. And I love that when I roll the windows up in the car, I can hear it's almost soundproof and there's nothing you can hear on the outside. I love how smooth this car rides on the road. No matter how bumpy it is, it always feels like I'm riding on clouds, right? You got to get all the way in there. You got to start telling it like as if you're living it right then and there in the space, right? And I always say affirmation should be you, because you should be hearing yourself declaring what you know you already deserve and what you know you already want to create in your life, right? Another thing that I do when it comes to creating positive affirmations, I mix in what is actually there with what is not quite there, right? I mix them in and I put them all in present tense. I mix them in so when I'm listening, my brain is not differentiating between the thing that's actually in my space and then the thing that's not quite in my space, not quite yet. And I make sure I do this so that even I get tricked about whether or not I have this thing or whether or not this thing is real in my life or not, right? And what I realized too about affirmations is that you can't do that with things that you don't really care about, right? So sometimes when you listen to affirmations that other people create, they go off into spaces that you don't truly care about. It's not going to be real for you. So like right now, I don't have any affirmations related to things like getting married or stuff like that. And it's not that I think anything is wrong with that stuff. It's just that it's not in the forefront of my manifestation journey at this time. So I would be really faking myself out sitting there. I am so grateful for my beautiful marriage. And it doesn't even feel real saying it right now. And there's nothing wrong with these things, like I said, but I think that every point in our lives, different things become important to us. So we don't want to sit there and try to pretend like we want something when it's really just a version of success that was in a different time and space in our life, or either it's not right now in our lives, or either it belongs to other people. You want to make sure that your affirmations are very personal to you, because that's what makes them work so well. And when you're putting these things in, like you're doing like video recording, I'll do that with this microphone. I actually have one kind of like a meditation affirmation thing on the channel right now, but it comes from a book, The Science of Getting Rich. If you listen to the little affirmation that I have there, and it talks about not hanging in certain environments, getting rid of all certain manners of entertainment and pleasure until you accomplish certain things. That comes from The Science of Getting Rich. But those to me are really good affirmations for what you need to do or what needs to happen, right? And then once it really clicks for you, you may not need to listen to it so much. But when you want those present tense ones, those ones that are super powerful, those ones that say, I know this thing is what I want it in my life right now, I want to experience it today, that's when you got to get in there and make your own affirmations. And if you're having a hard time with saying these things out loud and taking yourself seriously, there's more work that needs to be done there. You have to start believing in yourself enough to make these affirmations and not feel uncomfortable whenever you're speaking. I talk to people sometimes who I don't like the sound of my own voice. You got to get comfortable with your own voice, right? I don't even hear my own voice anymore. I watch my videos all the time. I look at myself. I don't care, right? Because I'm just a human like every other human, whatever, I'm not going to sit there and act like my voice is so inherently different from all these other people's voices. No, it's just a voice. So when I sit there and listen to myself, it's even more powerful because it's me speaking these things. And it's almost like I have a bird's eye view to say, man, and I'm listening to this woman speak and I'm like, she really believes in herself. This is amazing, right? You want to get into that kind of space and that kind of mindset. You want to make sure you're talking about things that you truly love and care about and that you want to bring into your space. You don't want to be trying to affirm for other people and other things, right? I'm really big on not trying to create in other people's lives. You can wish them well, but I don't believe that you can actually do law of attraction and do manifesting for other people in their specific lives. They create their own experiences. They create their own lives, right? Everything people are experiencing in their lives is on some level something that they've allowed, something that they've created, something that they've attracted into their space on some level. Even if it's generational, even if it's something that's an energy that, generational curse energy that was not, nipped in the bud. There's always some type of story attached to it, right? So when we're creating these affirmations, we got to just make sure that we're being powerful in our statements, that we're not making weak statements, right? And saying I'm so grateful for my beautiful new car. I'm so grateful for the blue sky. I'm so grateful that the sun has come out today. While these things are wonderful and great, those are not things that hit you deeply at the core. You know what I mean? What can you be grateful for deeply at the core that you feel would really change your life, right? What if somebody in your family or somebody in your vicinity or your spouse or your children needed some life-changing or life-altering surgery or medical treatment that you didn't have insurance for and you couldn't afford, and you're looking for this $100,000, right? How would you say something that hits you in the gut like that? You wouldn't say, oh, I'm so grateful for this $100,000, right? No, you would say, I'm so grateful and blessed that now I can afford to give my family this life-changing surgery that's going to change their lives. I'm so grateful that I have become a vessel that can help my family become more healthy, that can help them live a little bit longer on this earth, that we can spend more time together, that we can share together more deeply. I'm so grateful that I can be the person that I am ready for the challenge of being the person who can fly them across the world where they need to go, who can get them this treatment, right? So by then you're not even focusing on the money, because money is a blockage for a lot of people. You're not even focusing on the dollar bills. You're focusing on what it is you're trying to create with that thing, right? I was telling my daughter that the other day. I was saying sometimes when I'm doing like affirmations and I'm creating these things, I have to really get out of the money space, because the money means absolutely nothing. You want what's on the other side of it, right? The money is just the exchange. You don't want a pile of money to look at. It has no value like that. It only has value when it's being exchanged for something that's going to improve your life or the lives of the people around you, right? That's going to somehow make the society or the environment or your immediate family a better place. A better space, right? So when you're creating those affirmations, you got to dig deeper. You got to decide, like, I want this thing, but what does it truly mean in my life? How is it going to shift and change my life so much? What makes it so valuable? Because if you do that and you needle down to, you want to be impressive and you want to show out in front of other people, that's not going to be that powerful. It works, but it's a very empty type of, achievement at the end of the day. If it's just to show off to people that you don't really like that much, it doesn't feel as good as if you're truly trying to make a difference in the lives of the people around you. And you're truly trying to move your life into another level, or you're trying to move it into a new realm, right? Or like you're trying to like break generational curses when it comes to finances, when it comes to how people see success. Like when you really get into those areas and territory, the stuff that hits you deep, the stuff that I would say has been holding you back at certain points in your life, then those affirmations get really, really real, right? So yeah, the new car is fine and dandy, but what does it even mean in your life? I love the trips that I can take with my children. I love being able to get on the road at the drop of a hat in a vehicle that is not going to break down on me every 5 minutes. I love being in a convenient and clean space when we're doing things and we're sharing our lives together and we're having conversations. I love to be able to pick up my children after school without them worrying about if the car is going to be smoking or the car is going to break down in the parking lot at the school, right? Because I've seen all these things happen. So it's not even just about this, I want this fancy vehicle. It's about, what is this going to mean in my life? So when you're doing your affirmations, think, what does this mean in my life? Even if it's something like you're affirming wanting a marriage or a relationship or something like that, you're like, what does this mean in my life? If it's just to be codependent with someone, well, those affirmations aren't going to be that great. But if it's because I want to share my life with someone, I want to be around a like-minded person that I can have as a companion. I want to have someone around who's a witness to my life and I'm a witness to theirs, right? In Oprah's words, I remember her saying that. But it's like, what does it even mean to you? So just think more deeply about that. There's so much power in those affirmations, right? And what I love to do is edit those bad boys with some audio in it, that audio that feels like everything revolutionary is happening. You've heard the audio. People use it for shorts and stuff, but just depending on what you want to hear. And when that plays, it's like, I'll do my yoga, I'll do stretches, and I made sure my latest one was like 20 minutes long. So I did a whole yoga routine to that last night as I'm listening to it. And then there were times that I tuned it in and then I tuned it out by mistake. But believe it, it's going in your brain. It's going in your subconscious. And what's going to happen is you're going to start making decisions and approaching life in a way that you're winning in those areas already, right? Anyway, there's so much power in positive affirmations. And I think it's even more powerful when you're doing them from your own perspective. And when you really dig down deep and say, what does this mean for my life? What does it mean to have all this money? What does it mean to have access to these things? Because that's where you're truly going to hit those feelings. And when you get down deep in the feelings, you're like rewriting those old feelings of scarcity, those old feelings of, codependency, those old feelings of, lack or defeat. You're really needling in on that, right? Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.